Shabbat Shalom! It's Holiday Phosphorescence. Hello, everybody. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley, and me and the boys are about to Kwanzaa your ass. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I'm all about smoking blunts. And, oh shit, do I like to get fucked up.
Don't denigrate me. I'm against it. I'm Brian Lesh.
And I'm so well-read and sensitive, I'm Alaric Weber.
He is.
Yeah, it's true.
And this is a Holiday Phosphorescence, your yearly December podcast where we do holiday movies. Usually Christmas, but not always. Sometimes. We'll just pick random holidays. Sometimes we'll make them up. We haven't done a Festivus episode yet. So.
Oh my God. We should at least do an airing of grievances.
Oh, that's every week.
I have problems with all you people, and it's time you heard.
This show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You want to be a patron? Please, just do it. What are you even waiting for? Go to patreon.com/harmless entertainment for $1 a month. You can listen to all the shows we don't post on the main feed. We just put up our most recent monthly movie was still Thanksgiving. We haven't done our December one yet, which is going to be Adaptation, a movie about Nicolas Cage caging.
I love them. And it has happened before where a patron has suggested a movie, and we've done it. So that's a bonus to join.
Absolutely, yeah. We did Cabin Boy for our...
So glad.
Yeah, in honor of executive producer Michael Beckwith, and we could do your movie too if you wanted to join.
If we want to.
If we feel like it.
Was that the only one? I feel like there was another.
I think there was. I can't remember right now.
As well.
Yeah. So patreon.com/harmless entertainment. This week on Holiday Phosphorescence, we are watching The Hebrew Hammer.
When there's danger on the streets and evil is everywhere, the only solution is circumcised.
Who's the certified circumcised dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks?
Shabbat Shalom, mama.
Adam Goldberg is the Hebrew Hammer.
Santa's been rubbed out by his evil son, Damien.
I'm Santa now! In less than 24 hours, Hanukkah will be no more.
We have to put into place an agent. The Hebrew Hammer.
True confirmation test initiated.
Ooh, that's cold.
Circumcision confirmed.
He's a master of disguise.
You're the guy who stole Hanukkah.
The Hebrew Hammer!
He's a ladies' man.
I want you to talk dirty to me.
I want to have lots of children by you. I want to get a good paying, stable job.
Yeah.
I want for our children to go to private schools.
Yes, keep going, keep going.
Excuse me, children. He plans on personally canceling Christmas.
Attention Kmart shoppers, there are Jews in aisle 12.
Judy Greer.
There's a reason they called him the Hebrew Hammer.
Oh, kiss me, you Semitic stallion.
Mario Van Peebles.
You know, you tie it in. You don't have to hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
And Andy Dick.
Someone's gonna get everything they want for Christmas this year. Next!
The Hebrew Hammer.
A bad, bold, big-nosed biblical brother.
The Hebrew Hammer.
There are Jews in aisle 12.
You guys remember Kmart?
Totally.
Yeah.
You had one of the last ones left open.
Yeah, and like There was a time where Walmart was the classier version.
Kmart, yeah.
Target versus Walmart now.
Yeah.
Like you shop at Kmart, I shop at Walmart.
Ooh.
Different mart.
Yeah. The Hebrew Hammer was released December 19th, 2003. As a running time of 85 minutes, it cost $1.3 million, and it made $82,000 at the box office.
I can't say that's shocking, but it's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, it's perhaps a slightly niche film.
I would say so.
I quite enjoyed it, but I thought I had seen it before, but like Josh and I were talking about off mic, I don't think I had.
Yeah, I don't remember it. Yeah, I swore we watched it at the time because we like Adam Goldberg so much. But yeah, I didn't remember how funny it was, so maybe I didn't see it.
I honestly don't
play it. That's where I watched it.
I honestly don't remember knowing about it until a few years ago.
Well, like I said, it did pretty terrible at the box office.
$82,000.
$82,000. Yeah, that's again, like that's the friends of the production went to see it.
Right, they went to see it.
Yeah, family and friends.
I mean, I imagine it didn't have a really wide release, right?
No, it never got an especially wide release. But it does mean we're going to play the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of December 19th, 2003. And guys here are going to try to guess what movie I am describing. You will not be shocked to learn that The Hebrew Hammer did not open in the top 100 films that week.
I'm sorry, did you say the date? When did it come out?
December 19th, 2003.
Okay. December, gotcha.
Yeah, December 19th, 2003. Number 10 at the box office for the week of December 19th, 2003. A high school loser pays a cheerleader to pose as his girlfriend so he can be considered cool.
Yeah, buy me love, but that was much earlier.
This was the African American remake of Can't Buy Me Love, and it was also named after a song.
Oh,
not a great song, but at least it's it. But it is they had to choose a song that thematically went with the title. Ironically, a song named after a song by a Latina artist, not an African American artist. Weird.
Making this harder.
Come on.
This stars everyone.
Bitty Bitty Bomb Bomb.
The movie.
It stars Nick Cannon and Christina Milian.
That helped.
Named after a song by J-Lo. It's called Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Oh, wow. I was not familiar with that song.
Yeah.
I often forget she was a recording artist.
Right. And not just
a butt.
Yeah. Not just the star of America's favorite film, Made in Manhattan. At number 9 this week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love that in The Boys when Simon Pegg, when Huey's dad dies, like to fulfill his wish, they do the Made in Manhattan walking tour.
At number 9 at the box office this week, a realtor and his wife and children are summoned to a house. And while they attempt to escape from its horrors, he learns an important lesson about the family he has neglected.
They're forced to do?
Yes.
Summoned. They were summoned by a house?
To a house. Yes. This is a movie that was just remade last year, actually. Or was it this year? I can't remember. Very recently.
Is it an Amityville?
No.
Haunted Mansion?
The Haunted Mansion, starring Edward Murphy.
Oh.
Yes. Or Edmund Murphy.
That was 2003.
Yeah, 2003. Yeah. At number 8 this week, with his wife on a book tour, Tom Baker finds his life turned upside down when he agrees to care for his children while simultaneously also coaching his new football team.
I'm sorry, he agrees to watch his children?
Well, the number of children he has is part of the equation.
Baker's dozen.
Not Baker's dozen.
Dang it.
You're on the right track.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Cheaper by the dozen. Yes.
That's a remake as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Life pro tip: a dozen children is not cheaper than fewer than a dozen children.
and it's unnecessary. You're exercising vanity.
Right. Yeah, the reason we used to have a lot of kids in the past is because, 9 of them would die.
Yeah, and we had farms.
Yeah. If you don't have a lot of kids, who's going to milk all them cows?
Who's going to do all that stuff?
Yeah. The cow and the goat.
But yeah, exactly. We lost another one to rickets. A wolf carried him off.
Oh no, he came back and now he's a wolf boy.
Run.
Wolf boy's gonna kill the rest of the kids.
The classic.
At number 7 this week, a miserable con man and his partner pose as Santa and his little helper to rob department stores.
Bad Santa?
Bad Santa. The beginning, the movie that caused the bad blank.
Yeah, bad teacher, bad
moms, bad whatever.
Bad Lieutenant 2.
Port of call.
Christmas.
Bad Lieutenant.
And when Bad Lieutenant. Go
Bad
ahead.
Lieutenant 2 is crazy because that has nothing to do with Bad Lieutenant.
No, zero.
And
like we were saying, Bad Santa's pretty good. It changed how you're allowed to look at Christmas.
Yeah, for sure. At number 6 this week, conjoined twins from Martha's Vineyard moved to LA.
Oh, double trouble.
This was a Farrelly.
Yeah. Who is it? Matt Damon and Craig
Kinnear as non-identical conjoined twins.
Yeah, so it had a punny name, right? Like any Farrelly.
Yeah, of course.
Me and you, the buddy system.
Yeah, it's called Stuck on You. Yeah, just Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear wearing pants that are sewn together for the whole time.
Like they're on the Gong Show.
Right. They have one big harmonica. At number 5 at the box office this week. A man travels from his home to New York City to meet his biological father, who doesn't know he exists.
Elf.
Yes.
Oh.
I left out all identifying proper nouns, and Al still got it immediately. At number 4 this week, a U.S. Army captain is hired to train a foreign army.
Oh,
The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, or the first weeb.
Cool is debatable, Josh.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean cool for that. Like, well, I was thinking something else. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like, what if Tom Cruise is the only person who could save Japan?
What if the Japanese were so foreign that they didn't understand gunpowder?
Right.
Wait, guys. Yeah.
Like, they've never faced an enemy who uses gunpowder.
Certainly not once.
The more I think about that movie, the more I'm like, how the fuck did this get greenlit by anybody? Why did Tom Cruise think this was a good idea?
It was kind of the Everest of white savior movies.
Yeah.
Number 3 at the box office. Catherine Watson teaches art history. I want to leave it at that.
I know when they use the proper names, it's just.
Can you give us more?
Yeah, a little bit.
Catherine Watson teaches art history in 1953 at the respectable all-female Wellesley College.
This is Mona Lisa Smile.
Mona Lisa Smile. Julia Roberts shows Kirsten Dunst, Julia Stiles, and Maggie Gyllenhaal how to lady.
They're like, men only want paintings of boats and horses.
Yeah. Men will literally cut off their ear to avoid going to therapy. At number 2 at the box office this week, A Swinger. On the cusp of being a senior citizen with a taste for young women, falls in love with an accomplished woman closer to his age. Oh, God, this movie's rough in retrospect.
Yeah, it's a Nicholson, right?
Nicholson and Keaton.
Right, he's into her daughter.
It's a Nancy Myers, so there's lots of big kitchens.
Something's got to give?
Something's got to give. Yep. Yeah. What if... Oh, yeah, and Keanu Reeves is Diane Keaton's younger boy toy.
That's right.
Yeah. And number 1 at the box office this week, on its way to making $1.1 billion worldwide, a group of men are obsessed with a piece of jewelry.
Power Heist?
No.
A piece of
Is it
jewelry.
an ocean?
No, it's not an ocean.
It's not an ocean.
No ocean made $1.1 billion.
Is it Titanic?
No, that was...
No, that's too late, yeah.
This movie is the third in a series of movies that is renowned as being one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time.
Is it a Potter or pirate?
Neither.
Damn. 2003.
I'll tell you a secret about this film. Viggo Mortensen really broke his toe when he kicked that helmet.
Oh, Return of the King.
The Lord of the Rings, the Return
jewelry.
of the King. Yes.
I literally had a vivid picture in my mind of like a giant ruby that's encrusted with diamonds. No, the ring.
Yep. Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King. Yeah.
No, they weren't all men.
That's right. There were some ladies that were also obsessed with that, but...
And hobbits, who are technically not men.
And elves and dwarves and whatever Sauron is. One of the Elendil. Gandalf.
He went to Jared.
And that is the box office top 10. Which brings us to... the production of the film itself. The Hebrew Hammer is a movie about Hanukkah. What is Hanukkah? Our Gentile friends might ask.
So, this Gentile will attempt to explain briefly. Hanukkah is a Jewish festival commemorating the recovery of Jerusalem and subsequent rededication of the Second Temple at the beginning of the Maccabean revolt against the Seleucid Empire. They were Greeks in the 2nd century before Common Era. So the Maccabees successfully revolted against Antiochus IV Epiphanes, and according to the Talmud, the temple was purified and the wicks of the menorah miraculously burned for 8 days, even though there was only enough sacred oil for 1 day's lighting. So it was the miracle of the oil. As such, it's not one of the high holidays. So no work restrictions, I think. It's celebrated these days. It's popular in the United States, largely because its proximity to Christmas. It goes on the Jewish calendar, which is a lunar calendar. So it's not always the same day or 8 days. I'm not sure the significance of the dreidel, but latkes and sufganiyot, those are jelly donuts, essentially, are part of the celebration as they are oil-based foods, fried in oil.
So, real quick, the dreidel is inscribed with the Hebrew symbols for each of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, and it was designed as a way to help teach children in a fun game way about those books. So, like, they'd spin it, it lands on one of the symbols, and they look at whatever that is about. They learn about that one.
I do know that if it lands on Gimel, you win.
Yay, I got Deuteronomy.
Yeah, that's most of what I have to say about it. The menorah is a popular symbol of Hanukkah. So, Hanukkah, the menorah is used all through the year, but specifically the Hanukkah is the Hanukkah menorah. It has a special aspect to it.
It's cool to see that places like Target have finally, I was just there yesterday. They have 2 or 3 aisles dedicated to Hanukkah. You never used to see that.
Yeah, I saw a plastic. It was a dinosaur. It was a Stegosaurus menorah at Target.
A Menorahsaurus?
A Menorahsaurus?
All right. Thanks for the thanks for teaching us about Hanukkah, Professor.
Since the movie doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, pointedly doesn't.
And without mentioning names, Al does work at a Hebrew school.
Yes.
So he gets all the secret information.
And to that point, I did ask 3 of my Jewish coworkers about this movie, and they all gave it the thumbs up. They were all middle-aged men, so
sure.
They loved it back in 2003 and remember it fondly.
Sure. So, all right.
Very tongue-in-cheek was what one of them said. It's a wonderful tongue-in-cheek movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's true.
About Judaism.
I'm still trying to think of the comedy style it reminds me most of. Maybe I'll get there, but yeah, it's firing on a lot of the Mel Brooks Blazing Saddles pistons kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that. It's got. I mean, it's got that. It's got some
Naked Gun.
Some
airplane
like
types.
Black Dynamite. I'm gonna
Booty Tang. We were saying.
Yeah, and a parody of blaxploitation films.
There's something I'm gonna nail it before the episode.
So Hebrew Hammer, the Hebrew Hammer, was written and directed by Jonathan Kesselman. Jonathan Kesselman is best known for writing and directing The Hebrew Hammer. He has 3 films, well, 2 films with a directing credit. So he wrote and directed The Hebrew Hammer. He directed Jimmy Westwood, American Hero. which is a comedy about an Iranian who moves to LA with his mom to try to become like an Evel Knievel type person, or like, yeah, it looks like.
What if Crocodile Dundee was from Iran?
Right. He also he directs. It looks like he does a lot of second unit directing. Works in TV a lot, so he's kind of just a director for the most part. This seems to be his like one dream not vanity project, but his personal project, the only one he was able to really get made. Let's see. They did announce a sequel, which in 2017, which has not yet been made. They've been trying to get it crowdfunded, unsuccessfully thus far. It's called The Hebrew Hammer versus Hitler.
Sweet.
The Hebrew Hammer stars Adam Goldberg as Mordecai Jefferson Carver, aka the Hebrew Hammer. Adam Goldberg is.
I mean, I know where I first saw him.
Dazed and Confused.
Which was Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But he's done some really cool stuff.
He has. Including Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco.
He was in Waking Life, which is interesting.
Oh,
yeah. Waking Life.
I remember that.
Segment.
Yeah.
He was in the first season of Fargo, and he is a certified badass. He's like a mob fixer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really good.
He was in Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
Let's see. More recently, he was in Zodiac. That wasn't really more recently, but
oh right, yeah.
He hasn't had like a giant career, but he's had a really like solid career. He works continuously. This year he was in The Exorcism, where Russell Crowe is I don't know, exercises. I want to see a movie called The Jazzercism, where they jazzercise a demon out of a young girl. But he's a regular cast member since 2021 of the Equalizer reboot TV series, not the Denzel movie series.
Yeah, I guess it's Queen Latifah this time around.
Queen Latifah is the Equalizer?
Yeah, I think so.
Denzel is going to make another Equalizer.
He is.
I hope so. I just watched them recently. I don't know. I love those movies.
It's crazy how much they made out of an 80s TV show that was just pretty okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I just love the concept. You know, he's there for people who can't defend themselves, generally women and children. And It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Boy, is he a badass.
You are muted, Al.
I said a lot like the A-Team.
Yeah.
It was sort of a theme in the 80s.
It was.
Defending the defenseless.
Yeah, well, yeah, the vigilante who helps defend people that can't defend themselves.
Right.
People
but I mean, that's why it was called the Equalizer, is that he would level the playing field. You know, you want to mess with her? Okay. Someone your own says. Equalized.
I thought it was a math show. I was really disappointed.
You were.
Balance this equation.
You have 3 minutes.
Like, oh no, I test badly.
Show your work.
That was a catchphrase. Show your work, punk. Grant Rosenmeyer played young Mordecai. He was Ari Tenenbaum in The Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
He was Uzi, right?
He was Uzi's his brother.
Yeah, he was Ari.
Okay. Ari. Oh, you just said that, yeah.
He's
I totally recognized him.
Yeah. That's He's a Tenenbaum, and that's the only thing I know him from. Even though he's apparently kept working for the most part. He was in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah. A show that I watched like the first 4 of and then forgot about, and now have always meant to catch up. Always meant to finish.
West Covina.
Yeah. West Covina. It sounded like such an exotic place full of strip malls and freeways. He's had a decent little career. He's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm. A fair number of movies no one's really heard of. But yeah. As for our more well-known cast members, Judy Greer playing Esther Blumenbergensteinenthal. Judy Greer is a national treasure.
Yeah, like her.
Yeah.
Always working.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever had a gap in her fucking career.
No, in fact, she's in adaptation. We're gonna see her again soon.
Yeah.
She's in adaptation.
She was in Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's what we've seen her in. There's got to be another superhero movie she was in, though.
She was in Guardians 3? What did she...
Oh, she's the voice of someone in Guardians 3.
Oh, yeah.
Is she one of the 4... or one of the 3 animals?
She's Warpig.
Warpig.
Oh, that's right. And I remember being like, what? the fuck? I loved her as, what was her name? Was it Kitty on Arrested Development?
Oh, she was amazing on Arrested Development.
Look at my baby blues.
Yes. Oh, God.
Cheryl Tunt, voice of Cheryl Tunt from Archer.
That's right. That's right.
I think that's her best role.
That's so good.
It's the funniest thing she's ever done. I can't think of anything funnier. That role makes me laugh like piss my pants laugh sometimes. That's such an insane role.
Yeah, no, she's amazing on that.
Yeah, she's got great timing, and she has that like unconventional attractiveness that just, beautiful people aren't as funny. and she's beautiful, but like I said, unconventional.
Oh yeah, she is hot in this movie. But no, she's so funny. Judy Greer, Andy Dick as Damien Claus. Dick.
As Andy Dick.
Yeah, Andy Dick
Playing
is
himself.
Andy Dick. Andy Dick, the less said about him, the better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I enjoy his work on news radio, dude sucks. And
on the Ben Stiller show, but
oh god, the Ben Stiller show. To this day I think about the sketch where he was doing Jane Goodall but with house cats.
Yes. Yeah, Al, wasn't that Fluffy Nose and Toes?
Fluffy Nose and Toes. Yes. Call me by my tribal name, Fluffy Nose and Toes.
It's funny, and if you've seen Funny People, the Apatow movie with Sandler, he has a great line. He's just like, I don't have friends. This is Hollywood. Andy Dick is just a guy He's not a friend. So true.
Yeah. Mario Van Peebles stars as Muhammad Ali Paula Abdul Rahim. Mario Van Peebles, of course, the son of Melvin Van Peebles, who has a cameo in this film. Melvin Van Peebles was, of course, Sweet Sweetback's badass song creator, basically the creator of the blaxploitation genre. Mm-hmm. Mario Van Peebles, I first knew as what was it called?
New Jack City?
The Sunny Spoon.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Sunny Spoon is where I first heard of Mario Van Peebles. It's also where I first heard of Playing the Spoons. But
well, you didn't ride the rails with other hobos. Wax paper and a comb.
But yeah, of course, he was in the Cotton Club, New Jack City, as we said. New Jack City, the namesake for the microgenre of New Jack Swing, which swept the country from 1988 to 1990.
Chris Rock is in that, if you want to think about how old Chris Rock is. And he was young, but he wasn't a kid. Was he Pookie or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, no, New Jack City was weirdly big in my middle school, early high school years.
I grew up playing Sonic the Hedgehog, so it's indelibly imprinted on my freaking brain.
What does New Jack City have to do with Sonic?
The soundtrack is all New Jack music.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
It's and they are so catchy because it's New Jack Swing. You know,
I didn't know that.
I can hear it in my head right now as we're talking about it.
I just instantly
I hear New Jack City and I hear bam 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 bam.
See, I just instantly hear everybody's talking all this stuff about me.
About me.
So yeah. Additionally, we have Peter Coyote as Jewish Justice League Chief Blumenbergensteinenthal. Peter Coyote.
I want to point out he makes an E.T. joke.
Yes, he does.
When they suggest Spielberg, he made E.T.
Yeah,
like, you were in it.
Peter Coyote, born Robert Peter Cohen.
He's not Coyote, the trickster.
Yeah. You imagine it's like 1978 and you have to choose your like SAG names for and you're trying to break into the business and you're like, I want to be the Coyote. Peter Coyote, of course, I feel like probably best known as Keys from E.T., though obviously he's had a huge career. Jagged Edge, Aaron Brockovich. Let's see. He was in Stranger's Kiss. Oh, The Legend of Billie Jean. I forgot about that.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie. But yeah. Peter Coyote. Nora Dunn as Mrs. Carver. Nora Dunn. Best known as an SNL member from the the Silver Age, Phil Hartman, Dana Carvey years.
Mm-hmm. If you've never seen the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous, you should, but she's good in that.
Yeah. Her and Jan Hooks did the Sweeney Sisters. The Swingin' Sweeney Sisters, yeah.
One of the best sketches with them, the actual Paul Simon is in the crowd and they're doing their Bridge Over Troubled Water.
That's right. Oof. I'm just looking at her Wikipedia recurring characters on SNL, and one of her characters was Luce Chang, the love interest of Ching Chang, played by Dana Carvey.
Oh my!
Ouch! Ouch! Oof.
We got to make Asian jokes for a long time past everybody else.
Anyways,
I should have said "got to" as if I miss it, but you know, they were one of the last ethnic.
The only ethnic group that went on longer would have been Indians.
I remember in the 2000s hearing jokes about Asian drivers.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Italians are still really sensitive about it. I don't know.
Yeah, we cry over anything.
Sean Whalen as Tiny Tim. Sean Whalen, he's one of those guys you're like, hey, that guy.
He's in the Geico commercials.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he the other McPoyle?
Yes, he is a McPoyle.
Okay. I thought so.
And was he the guy on the Aaron Burr commercial for Got Milk?
Maybe.
Huh.
I don't know if he was. I think maybe he was. Wait, no, he was. It was. It says right here. He was the Aaron Burr. That commercial was directed by Michael Bay.
Huh.
Yes.
That was the first big milk commercial.
Yeah.
That changed everything.
It changed the world, man.
That was the first Got Milk commercial, I believe.
It was the first. Yeah, it's definitely the only one I remember. Yeah.
One of the best, it wasn't a commercial, it was just a paper ad, but Alex Trebek with the milk mustache. And it's just like, Alex Trebek says your bones are in jeopardy. It's like, imagine if you didn't know the milk campaign.
It's like, Alex Trebek is going to steal my bones?
Yeah, or break them. Yeah, a whole ass campaign.
Yeah, he was the Aaron Burr guy from Got Milk, which would have been Aaron Burr's first run at modern celebrity pre Alexander Hamilton. But Sean Whalen also, yes, he's a McPoyle in Always Sunny. He was in The People Under Stairs. He was in Batman Returns. He was one of the he was Paperboy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's just like when you need a weird looking guy.
Yeah,
he's the guy.
He was in Idle Hands, Never Been Kissed. Most
Idle Hands is low key awesome.
Idle Hands is a good movie. He was in the 2006 What the Hey episode of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
All right. I'm calling it there. Yeah. Next.
Tony Cox played Jamal. Tony Cox also was the elf in Bad Santa. Mm-hmm. Which he got to play two elves in the 2003 holiday season.
He's like, I don't want to change.
He didn't even, he didn't even change costumes. He just went from one set to the other.
He's a funny guy.
He is. He was an Ewok. In Return of the Jedi.
But then he converted, or
he was in Date Movie, Epic Movie, and Disaster Movie. I'm guessing he knew those guys that made those, but he was in Friday. I don't even remember him in Friday.
Yeah,
it's been a very long time. He played Ice Cube.
I love the first one. So good.
And he was.
My mama don't like a whole lot of people.
And he was the preacher in Beetlejuice.
Wow.
Yeah. Good for him. Tony Cox working. Let's see. Rachel Dratch played Tikva, the secretary. She's, of course, best known as an SNL cast member. She's Debbie Downer.
So brilliant. She was. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the one Debbie Downer episode where they cannot keep it together, and she's just trying to get it out. So the cancer came back.
Cat leukemia. It's official. I can't have kids. That's the one at Disney World, right?
Yes.
Where they're all
the Disney World.
She was supposed to play Jenna on 30 Rock.
Oh.
Originally, that was she and Tina kind of put it together, but NBC's like, no. Nobody wants to look at her.
And Rachel Dratch is like, you're okay, fine.
Oh my God, as the Bostonian.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Jimmy Zazu.
Yes.
Oh my God, tell me you got that.
Richard Riley plays the original, not the original, but the Santa that's Andy Dick's dad.
Oh, right.
He's the
to conclusions, Matt guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
That's his best. He's been in a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He was in The Fugitive.
I'm good with people. Why don't you understand that?
He's like a funny Walter Brimley.
Boom. That's a great way to put it.
Wilford?
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley, thank you.
You don't? No, Wilford's brother Walter.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know there were more Brimleys.
There's 3 of them, but the Brimley twins. Played the same character for a while.
The three Brimley twins.
And then the younger Brimley made it big in the MCU.
Because it's like when you work with children, that's why they're twins. They can only work for a certain amount.
When it's adults. Wilford Brimley, because he had a bedtime, the twins had to play the same character in Cocoon.
He's got diabetes.
So he can only work so many hours a day.
Oh, he was just about our age in Cocoon.
I know.
I hate it. I hate that.
Me too. Melvin Van Peebles, of course, as we mentioned, had a cameo in this as Sweetback was the name of the character. He, of course, was Sweetback in Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. He kind of created the blaxploitation genre in general. He's a really interesting guy with a really interesting life. But
he did Putney Swope, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did a lot of writing on films in the 60s and 70s that people don't really know about. He did a lot of Broadway stuff. He was a screenwriter on Greased Lightning. Yeah, but let's see. Ed Koch.
Yeah,
Ed Koch as himself.
Mayor, right?
Mayor
Yeah.
Ed Koch. Yeah.
And that was his slogan. How am I doing?
And the answer is fine, Ed. You're doing fine.
That was the answer.
Yeah. Ed Koch. Yeah. He hosted SNL once in 1987. And I remember watching that and being like, who the fuck is this? I live in Arizona. Who is this guy?
I was going to say, I was back east. I knew who he was. But yeah, I miss him compared to Giuliani.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'll take Ed Koch over Giuliani any day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And playing adolescent Hasidic boy, Jason Fuchs, who is best known for writing Ice Age Continental Drift and Wonder Woman, the 2017 Wonder Woman. This movie has 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's weirdly, I don't know. I feel like people just didn't get it because it kind of is what it is. I've got just a couple Letterboxd reviews here.
I think that's accurate, though. People didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Letterboxd user Jake writes, Wakanda for Jewish people.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's Israel.
I was like, there's a nation.
Right.
Like
I could see if he said Black Panther for Jewish people, but specifically the country.
Bad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want you to know it.
Shame.
Letterboxd user Autumn writes, I'm so sorry, Devin. Half a star. I don't know who Devin is, but I hope he appreciates that apology.
Her Goyim boyfriend that she cheated on with the Hebrew hammer?
Yes.
What?
The reviews of this are a minefield, by the way.
I imagine. It's probably been like that since 2003.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, guys. I think that's about it for the background. Are we ready to go ahead and jump into the movie?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going to put on my Goy costume.
I'll press all the buttons for you.
Here we go. This is The Hebrew Hammer. We open on a young Mordecai Jefferson Carver. He goes to school where for some reason they're all opening presents and getting like amazing gifts for Christmas.
It's a Catholic school.
No, it
so
says it's a
seems-
public school. It says
Oh.
it specifies a public school, which makes it so funny that they're opening
Was it
Christmas.
William and Mary?
It
Public
was
school?
Saint Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah,
St. Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
pretty
that
funny.
sounds Catholic to me.
It does, but it specifies public school.
Before the Christmas tree scene, when they're making fun of him with the stereotypical Jewish jokes, and the fourth girl comes in, it's like, my mommy says your people are gonna burn in hell.
Yeah, even the other kids are shocked.
I not just shocked, like, ugh, God.
Yeah, their reaction was the best.
That chick just had a bagel with her just for her bit.
It's crazy that those are jokes. Like, I knew one Jewish kid who, like, practicing Jewish kid growing up. Those were all jokes that I heard as a kid.
Sure.
Like how common anti-Semitic Jewish jokes at the expense of anybody who had like a nose that had like a slope to it or whatever. Like, man, kids were just primed by society to be telling anti-Semitic jokes.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Jokes in the ethnic jokes in the 80s and 90s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ethnic jokes in the 80s and 90s.
You didn't even have to do the like head turn thing where you look around to see who's there before you tell a joke.
No.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and my kid cousins telling me some extraordinarily racist jokes and just it was just didn't even give it a second thought.
Judaism, we're wading into the water. Judaism was a thing that everybody seemed to have permission to talk about as a Christian.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like it's okay to make jokes about the Jews as a Christian was always the vibe that I got. Like, which is fascinating. And this moment is such a perfect example of them escalating from like, your gifts are weird. Here's a bagel. Your nose. Leave some air for the rest of us. You're gonna burn in hell. Like, oh yeah, that felt really familiar to me. Like,
And
to
it's
just
that it was so nonchalant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go ahead
Well, that's what I was
and
gonna
say it.
Sir. What?
I'm against anti-Semitism. There it is. It's there.
Burroughs hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take. And it's another situation, like for instance, the word drag, where you can trace it back to Shakespeare. So a lot of the like miserly shit and the conniving was all based on his character Shylock from, is it Two Gentlemen? But like that's where that obviously the Jews were famously not liked before that.
Shylock
but
was in The Tempest. No, I'm thinking of
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was
Was it
one
Two
of
Gentlemen
those,
of Verona? I can't remember.
like the shady businessman, the miserly.
Yeah.
That's mainly where that came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. It was kind of like Coke with Santa.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, so anyways, they make fun of him. The teacher ostensibly encourages the kids to respect Mordecai's religion while being extremely condescending about it.
Well, just Chinooka Day 7 is the funniest shit I've ever heard.
Chinooka. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm
so
younger
fun-
than you guys. I had to do Hanukkah in school.
Oh.
Which was fascinating. Like, and not like in a bad way, but we had the one, like I said, I had one practicing Jewish kid in our classroom. So for 4 or 5 years of elementary school, my teachers were obligated to do it. So it was very funny to have a bunch of, WASP white Christians in the Southwest doing Jewish holidays and pronouncing all of these Hebrew words in the most anglicized way possible.
That one poor kid who's like, I wish we just wouldn't. I wish we could just forget about this and like not talk about it.
I hope that guy's doing well. Coolest kid ever. His name was fucking Casey Jones.
Oh, that's so.
You go, buddy.
Yeah, like you're set up for life, dude. I don't know what to tell you. No matter what happens, you could be the biggest loser. You're still cool before people meet you.
Yeah.
Or you're high on cocaine on a train. I don't know. Watch your speed.
Yeah. He then goes walking.
I wonder if he started wearing a hockey mask later in life.
Just gets a job.
But it's really funny, the Christian Jewish thing, especially with current evangelicals. Like, they still believe all that, like, Jews are secretly running everything and they're so sinister and cunning. Yet at the same time, they give just 100% undivided support to Israel because their prophecy is tied in to rebuilding the temple. So it's just wild. It's the same thing with the Judas thing. It's like, well, he killed Christ. Like, good, right? Wasn't that
the plan all along? Like,
yeah. If he had lived, it would have just been a supper, and then he would have just kept going on.
Right. Well, but also, like the whole like Jewish people run the media. The reason that became a talking point is because in the in the pre monoculture days, the 19th century, early 20th century, show business was so looked down on. It was one of the few industries Jewish people could openly work in without having a lot of problems. So they became overrepresented in that industry.
I think that a lot of that, we're going there. I think a lot of that has to do with the anti-communist stuff too. Judaism has always been foreign to Christians and viewed as the gateway to Russian Soviet communism, because a lot of Jewish Russian people in America, like.
Well, and even before that, a lot of anti-Semitism can be credited to Henry Ford. Like, he was the first person to, quote unquote, like, publish the Zionist papers, which have been debunked a million times, written by white supremacists. But like, so he really pushed that a lot.
Henry Ford's wild. He was so racist against Jewish people that he embraced Islamic people. It was crazy.
And the establishment of a Jewish state.
Right.
So that they could go away.
Yep.
The horseshoe on anti-Semitism is the craziest thing to me. It is it's such a delicate thing because it's a minefield. The entire place is just discussing Judaism as a non-Jewish person. It's like, I don't want to fall into these crazy historic tropes of all of these things are.
As a comedy nerd, I remember wishing I was Jewish growing up.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I always thought you were, Josh. Your name's
really?
Josh.
Yeah. Right, that's right. Very popular for a few years in the 70s.
Yeah. So anyways, he has his dreidel. He goes out in the neighborhood. There's lots of Christmas decorations. Windowed a lot of signs saying Jews aren't welcome. One saying Jews okay for about 5 minutes.
The craziest one was no monotheists allowed.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. That's my favorite sign.
So no Christians either.
Right.
Yeah. No, well, Catholics
a Hindu only
3
place.
Yeah, Catholics technically with the Father, but like Lutherans no.
No.
Al, I got a question. The blue color, you work at Hebrew school. The blue color of the dreidel, the blue color on the Hebrew flag, on the Israeli flag and stuff. Is there a symbolic meaning behind that you?
I'm not exactly sure about the significance of the colors, but yes, blue and white are the Hanukkah equivalent of red and green.
Yeah.
It's just, and I believe it's tied to the flag of Israel,
because Christianity sadly never got a color. I guess we could say white.
Blood,
but Islam
white,
green is traditionally the color. Like Judaism, blue and white. But I never knew where that came from.
But I mean that flag came with the creation of the state of Israel, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
But blue thematically is just in just about every Jewish holiday, all the get-ups and stuff.
And you're right. There are many flags where the color is very specific.
Just disclaimer. I should have probably done this at the top of the show. We're 4 non-Jewish dudes who are talking about this movie, so we're doing our best, everybody. Can't be worse than our Black Panther episode. So anyways, Santa crushes his toy walking by and gives him the finger. Then we get a title card. We get a Jewish parody version of the Shaft theme.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to the present. Mordecai is the Hebrew Hammer. He's badass, walking around through the neighborhood, giving out presents, talking to Jewish mothers, saving Jewish kids from Gentile bullies. The ladies love him. He arrives at his office. His secretary reads him his messages. We see his door tells us he's a certified circumcised dick.
Certified.
We cut to the North Pole. We meet Santa. We learn that Santa is a title that's inherited through family lines.
Right, a divine right to rule situation.
Yeah.
I always thought you had to have Santa die at your house.
To become Santa. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like
exactly.
Tim
Like
Allen
Tim Allen,
or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, he did die at his house
I guess he did, didn't he?
in the boardroom.
Yeah.
at
But then
Santa's
he
workshop.
had an heir.
He did.
He wasn't obliged. Yeah.
Yeah, his son Damien.
So actually, Blitzen should have become Santa.
Et tu Blitzen was one of the funniest lines I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were 2 reindeer. Can we speculate on the identity of the second reindeer?
I assume Donner. Fluffer? Did you say Fluffer?
Donner and Blitzen.
Smusher.
Ball crusher.
Sloth.
Yeah.
Brad.
Sorry, all the reindeer in my head are like specific kinks. I don't know.
Breath play. Like
Vinyl wearer.
On edging.
I think
furry.
Vixen might be suspect too.
Yeah.
Blitzen and Vixen.
She's a tramp.
She is. Vixen's out there at the bars all night. Anyways, so Damien has his father assassinated by reindeer. He takes over. He wants to destroy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, making sure December is for Christmas alone.
I loved the speech that Santa was giving, but like he instituted the Happy Holidays referendum.
Yes.
Yeah, that was his initiative.
Ordinance. Sorry, it was the Happy Holidays ordinance. So as not to exclude the celebrators of Hanukkah and Kwanzaa.
Mm-hmm.
Santa himself was progressive.
I always think of that one Krusty the Clown. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a quasi Kwanzaa, and a very respectful Ramadan.
A solemn Ramadan.
A solemn Ramadan, yes.
Crazy that Simpsons has been on long enough for Ramadan to cycle through the winter time back into the summer. And we're almost back into the winter time again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like like twice, 3 times a century.
The Simpsons. We cut to a meeting of the Jewish Justice League where they're discussing what to do to save Hanukkah from the new Bad Santa. Hey, 2 Bad Santa movies out in the same year. The chief of the Jewish Justice League's daughter, Esther, wants to bring in the Hebrew Hammer, but the league is reluctant to work with him again due to issues with him the last time they worked with him. They don't like his methods. He's a loose cannon. But she convinces him to let her recruit him. Back at the Hebrew Hammer's office, we get a parody of the whole a dame walks into a PI's office trope.
Right down to the Mike Hammer joke.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Hammer is down the hallway.
And his, what we think is his internal monologue is actually just a tape he's listening to.
Yeah. So many little gags
about a different case.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the Mel Brooks stuff comes in.
Mm-hmm. Esther arrives, tries to convince him to help. He initially refuses, but then she goes to dinner with him at his mother's house. Mother loves Esther and wants him to settle down with a nice Jewish girl and get a good paying job.
The inexplicable Chinese man.
Just there. Yeah.
And then he comes back. So it wasn't even just a one-time sight gag. They're starving in China.
Is that her second husband?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it just you didn't expect it. The camera went to that side of the table.
Yeah. So she makes a deal with Esther that Esther will date him if she gets him to help her save Hanukkah.
And Mom wants her to distract him from his private dick profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, blowjobs.
But he has to do this one thing. Yeah.
And I love the way that, sorry, Al. Go ahead.
Oh, I was starting to ramble and mumble incoherently. But
yeah, I do that.
Yeah, date my son and I'll get him to do this thing. And then you're going to make him stop doing this thing.
Right.
Yep.
I also love that Peter Coyote's character keeps it's like that Lebowski thing, like her life is in your hands, dude. It's just like, no, man, don't say that.
Yeah. Yeah, no. He's like, that's a lot of pressure. All right. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to take the job seriously, but you got to give me room to make mistakes.
Yeah. And dude, he wanted me to repeat that.
There's a whole thing about Boca Raton and then Mazel Tov, the old cat with the diaper.
Oh, Boca? Is it Boca? Oh, Boca Raton?
Yeah. So he agrees finally to help out saving Hanukkah. He goes to visit the Jewish Justice League. There's the whole bit where he has to be Jewish enough to get in.
Austin Powers, Josh. I think that's what this gets me with the weird leaning on history.
Oh, that's
kind of vibes. Because he's not a spy, but he's kind of a spy.
Yeah.
Right. And
this sequence in particular jumped out at me.
Yeah, you might have nailed it. Yeah.
And the whole doing the bit until it's not funny, then continuing to do it until it's funny again.
While staring down the lens the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
And people finding him sexy in he's sort of
ways.
And finding Adam Goldberg inexplicably sexy is somehow more believable than finding
Mike Myers. Oh, Adam Goldberg is easily I find
Mike
that
Myers
so much
is not even the sexiest Mike Myers.
He's not.
He really isn't. Though I will never ever. Oh my God, the bit. One of the funniest bits in any movie ever was the Mike Myers bit in Baby Driver. For the bank robbery, we were supposed to get Mike Myers masks. I meant Halloween, not Austin Powers.
That's so fucking funny. Oh, I want to do that movie so bad now that you mention it.
I like his cameo in Inglourious Bastards as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
He really tanked the Queen movie for me. Not that it needed any more tanking, but the moment he showed up on screen.
That was a bad movie. I'm sorry.
It was
a really bad movie.
Yeah. There was another movie that he popped up in a dramatic role.
Oh, Studio 51?
Maybe that was it. He was the 54.
Studio 54. Yeah, 51 was
I like 51. That's where the lamos had to go.
The alien disco?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50. Studio 51 about a disco alien base.
There's a podcast for you, Thoreau.
54 is a studio, 51 is an area.
I swear we come up with the movie every
at
week.
Area 51.
Yeah, there's got to be a studio. They want to dance.
They do a lot of coke. Yeah.
I just like thinking that it's a lesser disco or it's like square dancing and shit. Like, no, you go to Studio 50. All right.
It's 3 blocks down.
So my favorite part of the Jew confirmation test was, please demonstrate musical aptitude.
Yeah. The prodigy type.
Yeah.
And I love how long it took that machine to confirm he was circumcised.
Right.
Needed to get a good look. I'm pretty sure that was an Itzhak Perlman excerpt too. That violin piece that sounded like, the greatest violin player.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So he meets with the chief, who tells him what's going on.
I realized the musical confirmation thing made me think of one of right-wing America, WASPy America's biggest Jewish figures. Do you guys know that Ben Shapiro is like a classically trained violinist?
And
he is fucking incredible at the violin. Like, rhetorically drives me nuts, but hearing him play the violin was one of those moments where I was like, wow, why aren't you doing this, man? This is like, you moved me.
Ben Shapiro is so weird because, he's like this right-wing figure. And then every once in a while, he'll just post a completely non-political, straight, post about something like he just posted a 20-minute video reviewing Wicked that had nothing to do with politics in any way whatsoever. Just straight reviewing Wicked. I'm like, what is happening, Ben?
I hope he liked it because
he did. Was really good. Loved Wicked.
It was really good.
But yeah, I mean, it's a generalization, but often a lot true. But Jewish parents and also Asian parents, they're really big on a full, well-rounded education.
Yeah, the Tiger Mom thing is the commonality. Yeah.
Well, and but even more than American parents, understanding the connection of math and music, practically the same language. A foreign language and music. So yeah. That's why you see that a lot more instead of little Billy Bob plays the kazoo. we don't value our art education in this country.
No, we don't. We don't value education in this country. Period.
Yeah. It's not getting any better.
No, it is.
So it's not so much that it's the violin and Judaism. It's just we know your mom made you take an instrument, piano, violin.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, anyone who's forced to learn an instrument from the time they're 4 years old is going to be at least decent at it.
But also, I think the violin, it being New York Jewish identity, you're not going to, piano, you can take piano lessons, but violin you can carry.
Right.
Yeah, and it came from Eastern Europe, right? I mean, it came along those routes as opposed to banjos and string instruments from Africa. Imagine they were cheap to make. Catgut. Go ahead, Alice.
Oh, just pointing out that maybe most Jewish prayers are sung rather than just spoken.
Oh,
in services, there's I went to a bar mitzvah and the reading of the Torah is sung.
Right.
As opposed to just spoken out loud.
Just spoken. That's why I love Southern Baptists as well. Why do you have to be so serious? It doesn't affect your faith. You can love Christ just as much and sing a song.
So I used to have to go.
Catholic Church was a fucking bummer.
I used to have to go with my grandparents to Lutheran church, and the fucking songs they would be forced to sing are the most tuneless white bread bullshit I have ever heard in my life. Where I was always what is even the melody? Not even that. Just random weird Christian songs you've never heard in your life. It's how do you people all know the tune to this? Because it's awful. This is a bad song.
That sounds just like growing up Mormon. Wow, all these songs have the same chord structure and melody. They were definitely stolen from somebody in like upstate New York in 1850.
Yes.
So older white men can sing along.
Yeah, exactly. Older white men.
The Mulaney bit is so good.
Yeah. Yes.
The bread of bread is bread.
Yeah, older white men who served in World War II or Korea and then went into insurance. That's what it's for.
See, I can sing.
So, anyways, the Hebrew Hammer goes to visit the Kwanzaa Liberation Front. The KLF is gonna rock you.
That was one of my tags. Is all I want for Christmas is Whitey's two front teeth. Whitey is one of my favorites, but
don't trust.
Not as
Whitey.
funny as Honky.
Yeah,
don't trust Whitey. What's this wee shit, white man?
He meets their leader, Muhammad Ali Paula Abdul Rahim. There's an African-American elf who tells them he was fired from Santa's workshop. Santa's going to be at a bar later. The Hebrew Hammer goes there to find him only.
Well, and he became a pimp after being an elf. He immediately went into
into pimping,
trafficking. Yeah.
Duke's is the bar.
Yeah, Duke's is the bar. Is that a reference to David Duke? I feel like it would have been at this time. Yeah.
So I had to rewind this. So it was a Duke's skinhead bar, which is somehow an oblique reference to Duke's Hawaii. There's a bar in Hawaii called Duke's. There's a famous Hawaiian surfer named Duke Kahanamoku.
Oh, yeah.
Who had a bar in Waikiki. It's such a weird. I was like rewound it twice to read the matchbook when he lit the match because the like iconography of the Duke's matchbook is the iconography of the Duke's bar in Waikiki.
Oh, weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
Super weird.
That is a super like niche reference.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's a decently sized Jewish population in Hawaii, so it made me think like, well, maybe people were vacationing in Hawaii also, and like this was an inside joke and there's a big New York Hawaii connection too, but just weird. It was weird that it jumped out to me. I've run sound at gigs at Duke's, that's why I was like, oh, Duke's. Wait, what?
Weird.
But people forget how much on the national stage David Duke was for a while.
Yeah,
like he was totally trying to normalize that,
especially at this
socialism
time,
way before. Yeah,
like late 90s, early 2000s. The white nationalist movement online was fucking crazy, and if you were tuned in as like a non-Christian or as I assume being like a Jew in New York, you were very aware of Stormfront and all this shit that was like how's the government just letting this shit happen? I hope it's a honeypot.
Just saying this. I like the bar because it reminded me of the scene in Police Academy where they go into the Blue Oyster Bar.
Yes. Or Weird Science where they go.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh my God. I guess she likes malakas.
So
got that movie.
Anyways, he beats up all the Nazis, leaves unscathed, lights the Star of David symbol on the concrete outside. We cut back.
I love the concept of black label Manischewitz.
Yes.
Like it's barrel aged, like Johnny Walker or some. No, it's just standard grape wine.
Yeah, like a really sweet grape wine.
Yeah, it's very sweet. Yeah.
The elf goes back to the North Pole. He was secretly working with Santa, but Santa is racist and doesn't let him rejoin the other elves.
Yeah, I love that. Like, that wasn't just a thing to help his like double agent kind of like, he's a racist and fired me. He goes back to working for him.
Yes.
As his spy. And it's just like, yeah, like that guy has a really good tan, but and pardon me, audience, but yeah, the colored midget.
Woof.
Ooh.
Woof. Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah.
Santa's running it as a sweatshop now. He has the Hispanic women sewing, and
he gets rid of all the elves, right? At this point, he replaces them with Taiwanese children.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
The Taiwanese children.
So Oompa Loompas, he went and
who all
them.
come in. They're like, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones.
Oh God.
Oh. But again, like Mel Brooks, if you're going to be offensive, lean into it.
Go all the way.
I mean, the quote from Mel Brooks was when the studio was giving him notes on Blazing Saddles. He was like, "Look, if you're going up to the bell, you'd better ring it."
Yep.
And he's right.
Yep. So we meet Tiny Tim, who is Santa's sidekick.
He's Tiny Tim with the fucking Cockney accent and everything.
Yes.
And so tall.
Well, yeah, he's an adult.
Well, there's that. Yeah, but
I don't want to think too much about it, but did Santa take pity on Tiny Tim and say, "Oh, this poor young boy, I'm going to bring him back to the North Pole"?
Yeah.
He doesn't like or trust the elves, so I think he needed a henchman that was.
Well, and later Tiny Tim has his like army of like crippled people, disabled people attacking. Like,
my kid,
me crutch,
me crutch,
me crutch. It's funny, the Cockney accent. He slips in and out of it.
Oh yeah,
in and out. Yeah.
So
what is that? It's Cockney, Scotland. Cockney.
The only two accents that were consistent were the Hebrew Hammer and Mario Van Peebles. Yeah. Everybody else was in and out, wishy-washy, drunk on Manischewitz.
Oh yeah, no, Peter Coyote's accent was wild.
Yeah, and always eating lox or smashing lox.
Did we get the full name of the Hebrew Hammer? Did we mention what it was?
Yeah, it's
I think he did. Yeah.
Oh, his Jewish name or his Hebrew name was Mordecai Baruch Netanyahu.
That's right.
Baruch Netanyahu. And Netanyahu had only been prime minister for 2 years at this point?
Oof. Yeah.
But then he's Jefferson Carver.
Yeah, Jefferson Carver is his anglicized name.
Yes.
He invented the peanut.
Yeah, like I love that it's a black name.
Right.
So they kick off a plan to show all the Jewish kids in the world it's a wonderful life, to convert them to Christmas.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Super effective. And then he licks the tape, 65% pure.
What? Yeah.
He licked it.
So they flood the streets with VHS copies of It's a Wonderful Life.
To the tune of Pusher Man.
Yeah.
I miss seeing VHS copies of tapes. It made me realize, damn, I miss hard media.
Yeah.
I still hung on to ones that, I know they'd never released on DVD.
I've got a box of Disney clamshells somewhere. The Pusher Man, Curtis Mayfield clearing that song is like genius.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. Obviously, It's a Wonderful Life is a Christian theme movie. He has a guardian angel and all that jazz, but it's not the heartwarming, sweet. I mean, it starts with the suicide, essentially. So it's just funny. Like, this is what give this to all the kids.
Well, and it ends with the villain not getting any comeuppance whatsoever.
I mean, you are familiar with Christianity, right?
Okay, a little bit.
Fair point.
That's true.
How many
Very
years
few
of slavery?
lessons learned. Yeah.
Where are we at today?
That's why they had to send an interpreter. Look, let me make this simpler.
We already talked about Prometheus.
The inextricable joining of Christianity with capitalism is.
Oh yeah.
Jesus and those tables in the temple. That's the one story nobody seems to remember for some reason.
Yeah.
Right, and
The
that's another
moneylenders.
that adds, changes, and that's that's another thing of where the Jewish stereotype thing comes from. But what they forget is that he himself was a rabbi, and that's where he attended. I know there weren't Christians, but it's just like, he got revenge on those Jews.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, buy Lynn Greenwood's fucking Bible.
Right.
Yeah. Ugh. That dude. Oof. So
Lynn Greenwood?
Yeah.
Did you guys see the God Bless Canada song?
No.
Oh my God! So Lynn Greenwood, God Bless the USA.
Oh,
famously.
Lee Greenwood.
Lee Greenwood. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless America
Lynn Cheney,
again.
Lon Chaney, all mixed up in my head. But he,
former Vice President Lon Chaney.
part-time Wolfman.
Yeah.
Lee Greenwood also did a God Bless Canada, and it is the funniest shit ever. John Oliver did like a expose whatever episode on the Lee Greenwood Bible, but was like, it's fascinating because also he has no association with any country. It's where whoever will pay him, and the God Bless the Canada thing, like the rhyme is terrible. It's just like the most painful thing ever. As an American who grew up hearing that song, it's fascinating. Anyway,
he went on tour with Kid Rock not that long ago. have you guys?
They probably sold so many Bibles.
Oh, I'm sure. Have you guys been hearing the maggot thing of trying to make Canada the 51st state, or suggesting that we do that?
In addition to invading Mexico.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
we're going to call it just America, North America. Why differentiate?
It's just so funny how all of the sudden this shit will just pop up, and like that's never been entertained.
I love the
we make fun of Canada.
I love the galaxy brain take of deport all of the Hispanic people to Mexico, then make it a state, thus making them citizens again.
4-dimensional chess.
And they don't have to even go anywhere.
So all right. The Hebrew Hammer discovers the VHS copies. He calls the Jewish Justice League, wants them to counter this with copies of movies that have strong Jewish leads.
And they're in the trunk.
Yeah.
Just like what was it, the last movie, Dick the Halls, in that crime alley where the guy sells fireworks.
What were the 3 movies? It was The Fiddler on the Roof,
Yentl,
The Chosen,
and The Chosen.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Surprised Shadow and Fog.
Yentl's a crazy movie, guys. I don't know if you've seen it recently.
I haven't seen it since I was 10 or 11.
Right. I saw it in the 80s. My grandma liked.
I watched it a year or two ago, and it's a crazy movie. Barbara Streisand was on something.
I will say I love that the 10 Commandments doesn't get a nod because Charlton Heston is the least Jewish Moses ever.
Oh my God.
Keep your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty Pharaoh.
Again, my favorite is Mel Brooks in this. I bring you these 15. One smashes 10 commandments.
One of my favorite visual bits of all time.
Yeah,
man. Oh,
he's trying to hold them all.
God.
One falls.
So yeah.
I wish
back
Mel
when
Brooks had
we
made this movie. Like I wish Mel Brooks made every movie. But if Mel Brooks made this movie, oh my God.
Yeah. The Hebrew Hammer gets word that Santa will be appearing at a Kmart. So he and Esther go undercover as Gentiles.
Beautiful. The blonde wig.
Uh-huh.
The cheeseburger, no thank you. That takes way too long.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've already had dairy with meat product earlier today.
Deliciously non-kosher.
And full-on burgers, so a nod at how fat boys, Americans are to them.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that the American dish, the cheeseburger, is not kosher.
It was a
breaks
bacon
every
cheeseburger.
rule.
Yeah.
And a bacon
It breaks
cheeseburger.
everywhere. Yeah.
It breaks
And
every single fucking rule.
Oh, it was invented by the Germans.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Hamburger.
put shrimp on it and you've nailed every corner of the fucking map.
Oh man.
Yeah. But you're right. Yeah. Ground up, ground with the blood still there. However, the
With
cow
the
was
milk.
raised.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's again another thing. There's logic if you trace it back. You know, some of the foods that they don't eat spoiled in the desert very easily.
You should not. You should not eat
pork. Will kill you. Shellfish. Yeah.
Yeah, you should not eat shellfish if you're in the middle of the desert. It's a bad idea. It took a long time to get there.
Well, and it doesn't.
I have no proof that's what it is. But when you think about it,
well,
like I have one that I'm sure is not true, but like. They adopted circumcision because they were also often sitting with their dick in the sand. That's not true, but it's.
I mean, there's been a lot of like archaeological research into the prohibitions on pork being around bloodborne viral illnesses that affect people,
right?
And that are particularly like brain blood barrier breaking. So having like a spiritual effect on a person because you are no longer yourself.
Right. Well,
that makes a lot of sense. Like,
and they shit where they eat is another big thing. Because I remember the old like sort of like myth of like it's because of cloven hooves, you know, and the devil. No, they live in their own.
Yeah. No.
Shit.
I mean, there's a reason that both of the that both Islam and Judaism restricts pork. It was very dangerous to eat at that time.
Yeah, it still kind of is, honestly.
Right. Especially when it was, you know, it wasn't that common. Same with fish. So they would have it and then, you know, carry it with them as they're nomadic. And then, it spoils.
Yeah. So, let's see. They get in to meet the Hebrew Hammer, and Esther get in to meet Santa, who's seen the children, but
she hypnotizes the bouncer.
Yes.
With her up and down.
The bouncers. It was one joke that I just don't think was needed was the checking out the little girl before she gets past the velvet rope. Like spin. Yeah. All right, now spin around. And
that was
the only one where it's like I don't even find the humor in the subtext.
No.
Well, and I think they were saying that Santa has standards.
Right. It was like a nightclub.
He likes.
Right.
Like,
You'd see that scene with adults at a nightclub. You know, I've even seen on Kimmy Schmidt, like, okay, dance for me. Like, prove you can dance. But just a little. It didn't detract, but I was like, no, I can't find the joke.
Yeah, it was hard to watch that joke. Like, just commanding a kid to do anything like that is just fucking gross.
Yeah.
But I love.
Even at Andy Dick's expense, just gross.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that he's behind this, like, curtain. He's got two stripper helpers, and he's doing blow with a candy cane.
Yes. So they get in, they hold him at gunpoint, but then he turns a group of children against the Hebrew Hammer and Esther, telling them that they want to destroy Christmas. They get chased by the kids, and they end up going behind the scenes at Kmart into the Jewish Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
Which the Hasidic tunnel system, you guys saw that last year,
right?
2 years ago?
Yeah,
where they were
in Brooklyn.
Yeah, NYPD going like, oh, damn it. I guess we have to now investigate this.
Yeah, do you remember the one video where it's like a clown car? They just keep coming out of the hole.
Yeah. Fascinating.
And again, there's probably logic to that, but all the conspiracy theorists are like, this is where they traffic the kids, instead of like not wanting to be harassed for being Hasids on the streets. I don't know.
Well, and being able to travel outside of a boundary because it's within a building, and all the weird legal loopholes that traditional Judaism affords itself. The line, do you guys know about the single wire around the neighborhood? I forget where it is, somewhere in Brooklyn though, but there's a wire that extends the exterior of a building, like for like a square mile, so that Hasidic Jews can go outside during the Sabbath because it's technically within the boundaries of the building. Which to me is like, I grew up Mormon, so I've watched people break every rule in a way that was like logical.
You come from the religion that invented soaking. So
yes, exactly. We are the champions of making rules and finding ways that just live outside them. But we
the loopholes are great.
I think
loophole.
In fact, go ahead.
Because if there's one thing God is about, it's technicalities and loopholes.
The letter of the law.
Paying attention. Yeah, that is what they're. They do consider it law and instruction. I thought it would be funny because the Mordecai does mention the Sabbath at some point and how it doesn't work. It would be hilarious if he had a PI goy. You know what I mean? Like he does my investigative work. Yeah,
he cooks for me. He does all this stuff on Saturdays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's still a thing, but it used to be like, their neighbor would come over and turn lights on for them, turn the oven on for them, and
people
shit.
Get paid to do it.
It was a real thing. Yeah. Wild.
I mean, now you can talk to a device. There's a big like.
Oh, I didn't even think about like Alexa or
pre-program.
Yeah, they were big early adopters, even though like technology is kind of a will they, won't they kind of thing. Like, this allows me to live on the Sabbath. So let's do it. I can talk to my TV to turn it on because you can't push a button.
You can't push any buttons, or switches.
Yeah, but you can tell a thing to turn on.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And I don't know enough about it to really get into it, but just from like the exterior perspective of like, well, that's clever as shit. Yeah, I mean, damn, I would want to watch football on Sunday too, or Saturday or whatever.
The first thing anyone's going to do with the rule is find a way to get around it.
Yeah. See online moderation.
But I mean, I got to admit, it's integrity. It's putting your money where your mouth is. Like this is a holy day and we're going to respect it. We were directed to, Christians want to say Sunday's sacred because of football.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Weekend warriors are truly a Christian thing. Holidays and Easter Christians, Easter and Christmas Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to respect. It's like, they go all the way with that Sabbath stuff. And of course, we know that you don't roll on Shabbos.
Yeah. I only recently learned that Shabbat is the most important holiday in Jewish tradition.
It's the high holiday, right? Like Hanukkah doesn't count.
What is Shabbat?
Like a high holiday.
I've heard of
the Sabbath.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's
every week.
Yeah,
every week. Just from my rabbi roommate, my rabbi classroom mate. I sit in on his Jewish studies classes every once in a while, and found out that Shabbat, Sabbath, is the most important holiday out of all of them.
Yeah. It's not unlike
that they observe every week.
It's not unlike Islam, where you pray 5 times a day, and it's like, a Christian culture. We're like, that's crazy. You pray 5 times a day,
right?
It's like, well, what we do so many things 5 times a day. Like
we take our faith seriously. It's not that I'm gonna, I don't defend any single religion, period. But they at least take it seriously. Put their money, honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. It's one of their rules, So it's like I can't murder or bear false witness. I can't ignore that he wants this day set aside.
Yeah, I mean, whereas Christians, don't take the Lord's name in vain.
Mm-hmm.
They think that means don't say God damn, when in reality it means don't do shit in God's name, you fucking weirdos.
Yep.
Right. And saying Jesus Christ is not taking the name in vain to them.
Yeah.
So
God wills it is taking the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
Because no one knows.
Or like in Life of Brian. All I said was this bit of halibut was good enough for Jehovah.
Anyways, they go back to the Hebrew Hammer's place. They drink, they dance. They eventually, he and Esther eventually end up in bed together.
And like their dirty talk is, like Jewish mothers. I want you to give me lots of babies. I'm going to have an awesome job.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to send our kids to private school.
Yeah, Vassar I love it.
On a daily basis, I want you to tell me what to do, where to do it, and how I should live my fucking life.
But the next
anytime anybody uses the word mansplaining, I just retort with wife-splaining. You've obviously never been wife-splained.
Oh boy. They the next morning though, Esther tells him about the deal she made with his mother. He gets mad. Then they get a call from her dad, the chief of the Jewish Justice League, to meet with him. They do. They received a message from Santa that he's going to steal the rare substance Judaeum from the Jewish atomic clock.
Judaeum.
From the Jewish atomic clock.
The Jewish atomic clock is hilarious to me.
Yes.
Because the lightning and
right.
Because the Jewish calendar is so mysterious to the rest of the world. Like, what year is it? What do you mean it's the year 6000? What the fuck does that mean?
And lunar time tracking makes the absolute most sense because it waxes and wanes. The sun is the fucking sun.
That doesn't use the lunar calendar.
Yeah.
The only one.
Makes the most sense.
That's why Ramadan shifts. That's why Hanukkah shifts. Christmas is like, nah, we're using the Roman calendar.
It affects our tides. It affects so many things in nature. And like I said, the waxing and waning to keep track of different points. You wake up and it's like, there's the sun. And it's the size it always is.
Yeah.
Look, there's going to be 24 hours in a day. The day's going to start at midnight. And 6 means 30.
Jesus was big on the leap year too, man. He was a big fan.
Yeah, the leap year.
The solar calendar makes sense in the aspects of like solstice and
of course.
Yeah. What's the other?
I mean, I didn't mean to imply
that they end up on the same day every year.
Right, but I think I guess my point was it's not that the sun isn't significant, but like the timekeeping is more evident. Ancient women knew that. You can count the time by the moon. Yeah, of course you can by the sun. Comes up, goes down. But
are you guys familiar with the decimal calendar?
Oh God.
10 months.
Metric. There's a couple different ones. There's a metric calendar. There's a decimal calendar. They all try to divide the year up evenly, and then the end of the year has a leap week, which every 4 years has an extra day on it.
I mean, if I get a week to fuck around that's not related to a religious holiday, I'm here for it.
Yeah. The whole idea is that it's like the same. So like every week starts with Monday. Or like every month starts on a Monday and ends on a Sunday.
Shouldn't it be 1 day, 2 day, 3 day?
I mean, sure.
4 day?
Sure. Except it should probably
That's what the communists want, man.
Yeah.
The world the communists want.
Yep. Force that metric system.
The Hebrew Hammer sets out to Jerusalem in order to stop him from stealing the Judaeum from the Jewish atomic clock and stopping the Jewish calendar and Hanukkah.
I forgot to mention when he was in the Nazi bar, he was paying with shekels.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So many of them.
Yeah.
I was surprised to learn that they actually went and filmed in Israel.
Wow.
They did?
What?
Yeah.
I mean, he has the right to return, right? So it's easy enough. They just went on his trip.
But budget-wise, wow, that's impressive.
Really? Because that really looks like the area out near Coachella.
Yeah,
I was just going to say,
California.
But I thought it was Palm Desert, but
yeah.
But Israel is listed in the filming locations on IMDb.
Interesting.
Well, and they're not on the same, but on a closer latitude, right? The way parts of Italy look like our Southwest.
Yep.
No, I guess Israel's a little higher.
Well, no. I mean,
still the desert.
Those were. Are we sure? Because those were almost. I'm almost certain those were North American.
I thought I saw
cacti.
Joshua trees.
Yeah. I'm almost
Joshua
certain.
Trees.
Yeah.
Maybe the desert parts were in California, but they had to have done something.
But I mean, Al's right. You don't put it in the credits unless you know what I mean. It's like Tahiti. Well, we never went to Tahiti.
It's a magical place.
I bet I'd love to go to Tahiti.
He arrives to find Santa, Tiny Tim, and his goons stealing the Judaeum. They fight. Esther arrives. They help fight. They make up. Things are going well, but then the sun sets, and it's the Sabbath, and they lose all their energy because they can only rest on the Sabbath.
I love the sign that says where, like, the Hebrew hammer's girlfriend is the room where she is located.
Yes.
Not there yet, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Santa's going to kill them all. Then the KLF arrives to save them. Santa and his guys, though, kidnap Esther and escape, heading back to the North Pole. The Hebrew Hammer and Muhammad head back to the JJL, where they get sent on a mission to rescue her. I forgot to mention the Hebrew Hammer and Esther make up. They're in love. Hebrew Hammer heads back to the North Pole with Muhammad to rescue Esther. They arrive. They sneak in. Muhammad fights Tiny Tim and his gang of disabled people.
The XP 2000 stereotype alarm system.
Yes.
Hammer warns Muhammad about dribbling a basketball or eating watermelon. It's like, man, I can't play basketball. I don't even like the taste of watermelon. Okay, it's outdated.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, the Hebrew Hammer finds Santa. He fights, defeats Santa, rescues Esther. Then they teach Santa the true meaning of Hanukkah. Or they try to. And then
Dreidels, latkes.
Yeah. And
Jewish guilt.
Oil.
Yeah.
Oh, the most powerful weapon.
Yeah.
I want a latke.
Yeah.
Really good.
I love latkes.
They're incredible.
Yeah,
they're so good. Easy to make too.
Yeah. Muhammad takes Santa away. The Hebrew Hammer proposes to Esther. Then we sometime later we're back.
Her response: "I would gladly give up my last name to marry you."
Yeah.
Or was it? I would gladly marry you to give up my last name. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Blumen. What was it again?
Oh, her last name. It is
Blumenbergensteinenthal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Yes. Back at his mother's house, they have dinner, celebrate Hanukkah, and then credits roll. Yeah, that was it.
They elected a new Santa. The KLF and the JJL.
Yes.
Turned the Santa thing into a democratic process and elected Jamal to be the new pimp Santa.
Yep.
I would love to see this get a sequel. I think it would be really funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's right for it.
Yeah. I don't know if the world would be okay with a Hebrew Hammer movie in 2025.
Yeah.
I think that window might have closed.
I think so.
Yeah, 2017 was a ripe time.
Yeah.
And they wanted to, and partially because of Donald Trump and the rise in racism.
Anti-Semite, yeah.
Well, and the hypocrisy and the Christian support for it. And yeah, hunting down Hitler is a funny premise for a Jewish hero to do.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys watch through the credits?
No, I didn't watch all the way through.
Towards the end, there's the usual disclaimer, but this one is no animals or Gentiles were harmed during the making of this motion picture.
Excellent. Well, I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, all right, yeah, thumbs up from Josh.
Yeah, honestly, I give it a thumbs up. It's dated, but I remember it making me laugh as a teenager, and it made me laugh as a grown-ass man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there's nothing I would change about this particular movie.
Yeah.
It did what it needed.
Would be the only thing I would change.
Oh, he's a good asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is
I just
an
never wanna look at him.
anti-Semite, so you can believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking Andy Dick. I assume, Al, you're going thumbs up on it?
Yeah, thumbs up. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, same. It was genuinely funny. Thumbs up.
Yep.
So.
Alrighty.
All right. That is it for the Hebrew Hammer then. Our third of 4 Holiday Phosphorescence films, which means it's time to find out what we're watching next week.
Thoreau.
Yes, Al.
Oh, wait, Brian. Wait.
No, it's me.
Thoreau.
No, it's Thoreau,
Yes,
and he's
Thoreau.
already warned us.
Yeah. Brian looks like he's bracing himself for bad news.
Oh.
Next week, we will be watching a film called A Very Cool Christmas.
It sounds bad already.
This is a film. Okay, so there's 2 versions of it. The free version on YouTube is unfortunately the wrong version, but you can get a 7-day trial on Prime to watch the version, the original version.
I already have Prime.
Yeah, no, you can
Damn.
get a 7-day trial of their little whatever special
Whatever it
add-on
is.
they have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Will you send the title of this movie?
I
in the text?
did.
He just did.
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, A Very Cool Christmas. It's a movie about a teenage girl who gives Santa a makeover, and he turns into George Hamilton.
Oh my God, I love it already. Fuck yeah. George Hamilton's in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are.
Oh, I take
as I
everything
said,
back,
there's
Thoreau. I
there-
trust you.
There's a Canadian version and an American version. We're watching the Canadian version. The only difference is that the Canadian version, she has 2 dads, and in the American version, she has hetero parents.
Of course.
Oh, I might
Do
have to watch
both versions have George Hamilton?
Yes. Fortunately.
What? Why would they do that to us? It's so confusing.
The American version is the YouTube one. The Canadian version is the one that's on Prime. Yes. So a very cool the American version is called Too Cool for Christmas. The Canadian version is called A Very Cool Christmas.
All right.
Cool for 2 dads.
Yeah.
Stupid Americans.
It's crazy. There's side-by-side comparisons. It's exactly the same shots. They just had a husband and wife stand in.
Weird.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Should be fun.
Very Cool Christmas. We'll be watching that for next week. Until then, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. This is one of your hosts, Thoreau Smiley. And the true meaning of this podcast is something about a dreidel.
Hey, it's me, Chinekawa Sisi. Chinaweka Sisi.
Who brought in Britney Spears? The white man. Me, Brian Lesh.
Hey, y'all, stay Jewish. I'm Alaric Weber.
We'll see you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Never
Shalom, y'all.
convert.
Yeah.